Hello and welcome back to the Critically Clueless. In today's video, we are of course back in Tainted Grail Conquest, and we are going to be doing a tips guide, strategy guide for playing as the Wyrdhunter. Now, the Wyrdhunter is the very first kind of class that you have open to you. Everyone has to play at this at some point, and I probably should have started off my guide as the Wyrdhunter. I didn't. I chose the Summoner, but we're back on the Wyrdhunter. Now, hopefully, I'm going to give you tips, tricks, and strategies for making it through your first playthrough in this game. And if I missed anything out, if someone more experienced is watching this video, please don't forget to drop down below in the comments any tips and guides or tricks that you have that I perhaps didn't mention. Maybe even combinations of certain cards to watch out for. In my guides, I try not to mention particular cards that I believe you should use with each class, because this game is very RNG. If you've played as a class a number of times, you're going to have open to you more powerful cards than someone on their very first run. Plus, you can't dictate what cards pop up in your playthrough. So every playthrough in this game happens to be quite different. We also have an active and growing Discord, guys. I'm trying to collect a community, to kind of jump in, talk about this game or any game that they happen to play. So if you want to join that, the link for that will be down in the description. And lastly, of course, if you enjoyed this this video, find it entertaining or helpful in any way, don't forget to hit that like button and, of course, subscribe to the channel. So like I said, we are going to go for the Wyrdhunter. We've got slightly more health because we've played this game before. So normally you'd start off on, I believe, 80 health. So let's get into the game. I do believe the best way to kind of show off these classes is just by starting up a brand new game, going through the game as it throws things at you. And hopefully we can cover everything that we need to. So the first and only thing you guys probably have open to you is the Lost Soul on a brand new game, in which case you'll be able to buy yourself a brand new healing elixir. Now, my healing mixtures are better than yours because I've had a chance to actually upgrade them, unfortunately. So if you're looking at those numbers and they're not kind of adding up, that would be why. So let's go and find our first battle. Now, the Wyrdhunter is extremely simple. You need to attack your target and reduce its life points to 0 like every other class in the game, but you only pretty much have standard attacks to do so. Also, your only real way to block incoming damage is by using blocks. Blocks and stun cards are incredibly important to this character. It is your only way of blocking damage. There are barriers in the game, like so. However, getting barriers as a Wyrdhunter is hard to come by. They're rarer cards and opportunities. So you are going to be focusing on block. Now, these standard cards, these standard 1 energy block cards are terrible. Absolutely terrible. As you level up in the game, as you get your masteries, as you get your RNG perk cards, you will get better cards to block with. You'll get better cards to stun the enemies with. So look out for them as soon as possible. The other interesting thing about the Wyrdhunter is every single round you will always get broad reach. It costs 1 energy. It's not free, unlike a few of the other classes when they get their unique card. However, what it does do is stack your damage, which means that the next hit does 100% damage. This actually goes really well with your ultimate ability as well. So your ultimate ability charges per hit. You need 20 hits to get your maximum charge on your ultimate hit. And I think it goes to about 500%. It's kind of crazy the amount of extra damage you can kind of get on it. However, that does stack with Broad Reach as well. That Broad Reach adds that extra 100% damage. So have a think about that. Keep that in mind when you go to use it. And also, if you end up having an energy left over, you have no more attack cards, use Broad Reach. It doesn't hurt, and in fact, it helps quite a bit to have that extra damage on your next attack. So we're going to use small strikes here. This deals 3 hits. Every hit you use, not every card, every hit you actually inflict on the target will increase your charges on your ultimate as well. As you see, we're at 30% now. So if we was to use that now, it would do a 30% attack. And it's kind of like a free attack. As you see, we done a little bit of damage. We also inflicted vulnerable on the target as well, meaning that our next attacks will hurt him a little bit more. So it's a good idea to try and use it when you can. However, fully charging it can be rather difficult. So as you saw above his head, he only deals 1 attack. Because we know that, that means we only need to have 1 block on us to make sure that we are completely fine and our health isn't targeted. We're going to go for small strikes again because it's the multiple hits that we're looking for there. And he's just about dead now. And 1 hit and he is all done. And there we go. That's our first battle. Nice and easily sorted. And we get to pick our very first card. Trap this turn, gain 50 armor and stun every enemy that hits you. Now this is a good one because it adds stun. Stuns, like I said, very, very important. I wouldn't necessarily choose cards that take away from your max HP, mainly because playing as a Wyrdhunter can be a little bit difficult when it comes to healing yourself, getting extra health, and if you end up being too weak, you can very, very quickly die. This card, short pause, gain 50 armor for 2 turns. Armor with the Wyrdhunter, very important. The more armor you have, the less the incoming damage is going to hurt you. Typically, you're playing on your own, meaning you are the only focus for everyone attacking you. So having high armor can be very, very important. But I think on this one, I'm going to choose Trap. Like I said, stuns are pretty cool. And we don't have the money to re-roll either. On passives, like I said, armor, very important. At the start of each turn, you gain 2 ultimate charges. This one can be very good too because it's helping get that ultimate up and charged. And it can be really difficult, guys, to get that ultimate charged up fully as well. So I think I'm going to go for that, Eternal Return. That's our first passive in the bag. Let's have a little look-see at another battle, see if we can demonstrate using a little bit more. Now we're up against 3 targets. Now, being the Wyrdhunter, your weakness is going up against multiple targets because you have to block those multiple damage coming into you. So keep that in mind, playing a Wyrdhunter. When you are outnumbered, that's when this character does struggle. However, later in the game, you get some very powerful cards and you're able to do a tremendous amount of damage. It's just getting to that stage where you're able to, do that damage, get those important cards. I tend to find the Wyrdhunter is actually a very unfortunate class that it's the very first one you guys ever use, because it really is the hardest class to use in a game, because at the beginning of the game, that is when you are at your weakest, because you don't have those very important cards. We are going to go for just a basic attack. I think we're also going to try and take out one of these. just because we don't want... I tell you what, let's use our ultimate for 120 damage. Take him off. And then we can focus on someone else as well. Trying to eliminate as many targets as possible. Make it more of a one-on-one if you're able to. A little bit unlucky with the cards we drew there, but we have got our stun card. And as you saw, we charged up our next hit too. We're at 200% now. 3 random targets. Choose who to stun. This is a terrible card. Absolutely terrible card because 1, it costs 2 energy, and 2, it only stuns 1 target. I would recommend taking this out of your early deck as soon as possible, guys. Terrible card. Much better cards out there. And we'll reduce the armor of the main guy. Let's deal those 3 strikes again. We'll gain a block. And let's hit this target. And now it's due for 300% damage. Like I said, this ultimate, it is actually like a free hit. Nice, we took him out. Oh, he was replaced by a bigger one, though. Let's do these 3 hits. There we go. Unfortunately, with those 3 hits, although they are cool, I like having them, you can't actually target who they're hitting. But like I said, those 3 hits are extra hits for your ultimate charge, meaning you can use it again. Don't be afraid to use it whenever, you know, it's giving out a decent % damage, because at the end of the day, it is a free hit, making these fights quicker and easier for you. Broad reach, then attack, meaning we're dealing a 200%er. Like I said, the broad reach is best to use in combination with your ultimate. So again, that's another thing to keep in mind. We're going to use it as a trap. Every time I see the trap card, I can't help thinking of the Star Wars reference. And let's do the overhead, I guess. And then we'll do broad reach and roll that over for the next turn. Now we can do broad reach again doubling our damage. You see that's 300% now. And now we're also going to use standard attack. There we go. Add in a block. Big attack. Big attack. And don't quite get him with our ultimate. But he is now weakened, so he's at oh, hold on a minute. Let's do that again. And we'll do it as a trap again. Gonna have to use a couple of blocks, unfortunately. Now, interesting to note as well, I didn't mention it earlier. As you saw, we used 2 blocks in that last round. We only got hit once, but yet we've got 0 blocks left. That's because the blocks do not carry over to your next turn, so keep that in mind. Because when I very first started playing this build, I thought they did carry over, and you know, I learned the hard way that they don't. Here we go, all done and dusted. Did take a few extra hits in that round than I wanted though. But like I said, this is a difficult build because you really do have to balance between blocking those attacks and getting in those blocks. I think what we're going to do is go for this card because it gives us an extra energy. We do offer up 25% damage, but because we can boost ourselves very easily in this game, getting something that gives us extra energy is very important, because playing as the Wyrdhunter, you don't necessarily get all those extra energy boosts or all those extra attacks that other people can. And also, it's also good to bear note that we're actually playing this in difficulty 2. Difficulty 2 is, you know, it's 100% harder than standard difficulty. And so you have to be a little bit more thoughtful about when and how you prepare your attacks. We're going to immediately go for a stun. A block. Block's very important. Let's go for these 3 hits to charge up some attacks. Unfortunately, we don't have another block. So we're going to go for 3 hits again to charge up our ultimate. I'm going to be cheeky, stick on my barrier. And we're going to go for Trap again. This is a really good card. Hopefully we can get some good stuns on there. Because we use it though, it means we don't have to use our blocks. Who's got the best armor? No one's going armoring up just yet. There we go. He was vulnerable then. You saw when he turned red. That's a special effect of the Wyrdhunter. He can put vulnerable on targets. We're going to get our extra energy, pop in a block. And let's use our ultimate there. Done some good damage. Use broad reach to power up our attack. Take care of that guy. And then we'll attack the damage dealer up there. Oh, lots of little guys now. So we're going to deal 3 hits. Again, a great way to charge up our special. 3 hits again. And block's going to be almost useless here. So I think we're just going to have to take the hit. We'll do a trap. That's a brilliant card. Very useful for what we need right now. And we'll attack again. So up to 300% now on our ultimate charge. Taking massive damage though. Like I said, unfortunately, playing as the Wyrdhunter is very, very vulnerable when you go up against multiple enemies like this. This is kind of the worst type of battle we could have run into because of just how vulnerable this character class is to multiple enemies. Let's go for 3 because that will... There we go. We are now up to 500% attack now. Let's take care of the big guy. 141 damage. Massive damage outburst there. And we'll attack again. Now everyone was stunned, so we kind of got like a free turn, which was nice. We're going to go for 3 attacks real quick. Attack the one that is almost done. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Did take a lot of damage in this turn though. Although we didn't go in with full health, so that's worthwhile keeping in mind. We'll go for 3 hits again. See if we can take out this guy right now. So we've gone for broad reach. That will give us an extra 100% damage the next attack. Like I said, this does go hand in hand with our special. And we're done for 22 damage, killing the AI and winning the round. When it comes to runes, something I don't normally talk about in these sort of builds or guide classes, when it does come to runes though, this is a great idea to get any rune that kind of either gives you an extra hit, gives you armor, gives you extra health, or even stuns. They're the type of things you want, because you're going to be wanting defensive runes more than anything else, but you can get runes to give you an extra hit, which of course will help charge up your ultimate, because every hit you do charges that up. So reduce armor of all enemies by 10, or increase max HP by 30. I would go for the increased HP personally on this rune here. And let's see if we can do one more battle. Let's just pop a potion really quickly. Going into this. And we'll try one more battle. Hopefully this battle will mean we'll level up again, meaning we'll have an extra chance to look at the cards. Oh, great to start off with this, to be fair. Okay, so we're going to go for the trap card. Also going to go for small hits. And let's decrease this guy's armor. Pop on our little barrier as well. I actually got this barrier from the Pied Piper. You will get it within your playthrough pretty early on the wooden flute, and you can change its ability. This is just one that I quite like to use because it's extremely helpful. Let's go for the 3 hits. And we're going to go for the standard attack. He's vulnerable. Go for a broad reach and do a 240 attack. There we go. We took care of one. Lovely. Oh, nothing but blocks, which is annoying. We'll go for the extra. Let's stun one of these guys. There we go. We're going to go for the small attacks again. You don't actually get to target who that attacks, unfortunately. He's got the lower health, so let's focus on him. Go for a broad reach, and then we're going to use our ultimate charge again as he's vulnerable. Took care of him. Taking, like, using that vulnerability when you inflict vulnerable on someone, taking advantage of that is a key to this character as well. As you saw, we've done a lot of damage to him then, and that was mostly because we took advantage of the fact that that AI character was vulnerable at the time. How much health he got? 24. Can we take care of him right now? I think so. No need to block. And we leveled up. We can have one last look at the cards. So what do we get? Now, Skullcracker is actually a brilliant card. I'm glad that flashed up, to be fair. Also, draw 4 cards. Not so good. Do 1 hit for 75 damage. Again, I think that First Slash is a good card. Now, again, we've gone over this, but choosing cards that have 0 energy or that cost 0 energy is very good for the Wyrdhunter because they don't have much energy throughout the turns. And of course, you're just playing as a singular person, so they're dealing out all the damage. So something like this is a really good pick. But I really like Skullcracker because you're dealing 1 damage and it's 550 damage, you know, for 3 energy, meaning you're able to basically do your ultimate charge and do a tremendous amount of damage to a singular target, which is where the Wyrdhunter shines against those singular targets. So I'm going to go for that one. I think that's a good pick. And we get to pick a passive as well. So increasing your maximum damage by 6 is a good idea. Anything that increases damage is kind of a good idea. Block every second hit received in a turn. Again, this could be a very good one as well, because as a single target, you're going to be hit an awful lot. Whenever you hit an enemy, increase your armor this turn. This one, not so much, because it's kind of a shortcoming. It doesn't really help you out too much, but I do think beginner's luck's very good, because block every second hit received in a turn. Like I said, unfortunately, when it comes to the Wyrdhunter, they are very vulnerable when you're up against multiple enemies. So anything that helps you kind of stop those incoming attacks, very good idea. But yeah, so that's everything I've got for you guys. And when it comes to the Wyrdhunter Starter's Guide, hopefully I've covered everything that has helped you guys. And if I've missed anything out, if you guys have got any tips or tricks that you want to add, again, pop that down in the comments. And you want to join the community that we're growing currently, we have a couple of Tainted Grail players in the Discord currently. Feel free to pop in, and the link for that will be down in the description. And of course, if you have enjoyed this video, found it entertaining, or learned anything whatsoever, or just want to see more videos just like this, then we can hit the like button and of course subscribe to the channel. But until next time, guys, I've been a monk, we've been Critically Clueless, and I'll see you in the next video real soon. Until then, happy gaming.